This next game coming up, when I first read the title, I'm now realizing that it probably means crackers as in cracking the curse, like cracking a save. But when I first read the title, all I could think was a box of Triscuits that's cursed. So, curse crackers. Let's hear all about that from TempestMask1000. And we have a co-commentator on for this one as well. I'll let everybody introduce themselves. Please do take it away. That from TempestMask1000. And we have a co-commentator on for this one as well. I'll let everybody introduce themselves. Please do take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And hello once more, friends and fellow gamers. I'm TempestMask1000. Some of you know me as Steve. And yes, this is going to be Curse Crackers for Whom the Bell Toils. This is a super fun indie game that came out actually 4 days from now. It's actually turning 1 year old on the 31st of this month in terms of the full game release. And also, 3 days ago from now, celebrated its first ever console port for Nintendo Switch as well. So this is Curse Crackers for Whom the Bell Toils, the second game developed and released by the wonderful folks of Color Grave, a remote group of developers and wonderful, wonderful folks all around. And this is a phenomenal speedrun. I hope I can, at the very least, convince you all of that much. There's a lot of variety, a lot of things to do with the game, a lot of things to do with the speedrun, and it's become one of my favorite games to speedrun, especially in terms of indies. But we're gonna do a any percent Bell no Spark Bangle run, which means beat the game by any means necessary with the main character Bell, but I will not be allowed to use the Spark Bangle. Joining me on co-coms is a good friend of mine within the community, the writer of the Auto Splitter, and someone that's just a fantastic commentator as well, and actually had the opportunity to showcase this game on the GDQ hotfix. It's my good pal IotoCore. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing all right. A little bit warm, but I'm ready to heat things up with some Curse Crackers action once we get started.
I couldn't agree more. Well, we're going to get started in just a moment. I just need to make sure of one very important thing within my notes, because if you happen to hear me mess up a couple of things a couple of times, then that means, well, I'm just going to need a little bit to fix it. See, this category uses a very special series of codes in order to make us go super fast. If you get the order wrong, though, well, then that's normally a bit of a reset point. But I have notes to help me out with this very fact, so we'll just have to hope that's indeed the correct one, because, well, that'd be a little embarrassing now, wouldn't it? But I'm just quickly showcasing these options. Run toggle is on, and I don't know why the game likes to start the auto splitter when I delete a save. What's up? Why does it do that again?
It's part of the reason behind the scripting where it starts whenever there's a menu that pops up, and it just so happens that the menu for deleting the save also is the same menu trigger ID for when you start the game proper.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah,
unfortunately, not much about that.
Understandable. Alright, well, in any case, without further ado, let's get things started. And we'll begin. Let me try that again. I should have given our host a bit of an opportunity to actually take care of that.
Yeah, the timer's supposed to start when he selects the character, but it's fine. We can just restart real quick.
Yeah, let's do that. Man, this is going smoothly already.
It's fine.
It's all good. Trust me,
You're getting a little sneak peek at home of what the game world looks like before we completely ignore 90% of it.
That's true. It is a very, very wonderful in-game map, without a doubt. Alright, this time for real, though, and with spirit, we will begin this run in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go!
Alright, so this run is this is just the pure any percent run, which we have two varieties of. There's the Spark Bangle run and the no Spark Bangle run. The Spark Bangle run is something that's only available once you have 100%ed the game at least once, and it unlocks a special item called the Spark Bangle, which lets you go very fast. This is not that. So this is effectively a run that you would be able to do at home after beating the game once, which unlocks the secret room called the Cactus Room, where you can input these codes that allow you to unlock a variety of effects in the game. But that's, like I said, that's only available once you've beaten the game once. Once you do that, you're able to fix things up and keep going.
That was an
So
incorrect
these-
input, but I'm going to try that right again.
Yeah. So what the deal with the Cactus Room is like I said, it allows you to unlock a variety of effects across the world, and the two effects that we're going to be going for in this run are the ability to unlock every level right from the start, which you can imagine is probably pretty good, and a item called the Graven Mask, which allows you to double jump, which is extremely useful for a platformer. There's a lot of tech tied to having a double jump. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm going to try that all over again, because that I was not supposed to alter at all. So, we did get one of those right, and but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so anyway, the main thing, though, is the Grave Mask unlocks a lot of movement tech that we can use to get through these levels much quicker than we normally would, even faster than just, normal speedrun techniques would allow. So it'll be a very fun watch, and hopefully you'll be able to spot some of the crazy little bugs that show up as we do it.
Okay, there we go. So, like Iota said, the first thing that we needed to unlock was the Graven Mask, and that's going to grant us the ability to double jump. This is especially useful for the run because Belle here does not normally have that as an ability, which essentially adds to her overall acrobaticness, which, more of that is especially great for the overall speed movement of the game. Aside from that, we also activated a code which unlocks all of the levels and means that I do not have to go to each and every goal in order to unlock them. This is especially convenient because the overall objective of Belle's campaign is to collect 30 Ardell Roses. And the reason for this is it's a story progressional checkpoint which then allows me to enter the final world of the game. Otherwise, going through the first 4 worlds is pretty much fair game as can be.
Yeah. So these roses are the items that you've been seeing Steve pick up every so often. They're the little roses that are sort of hidden throughout various locations. And he mentioned that we need 30 of those, but here's the important part. We don't need to complete the level with them in order to keep them. You can just grab them and then exit the level immediately, which makes it extremely fast to collect all the roses as we go through. It really becomes an optimization route of which roses are fastest to grab in the entire game.
Absolutely. Now, the fun part about that is, ever since we've had at least half a year with this game, an update for version 1.2 gave us the ability to play as one Bonnie girl, or bunny girl named Bonnie, excuse me. And, oh wait, it's the first 2 roses, right? Almost forgot about that. So, the fun part about Bonnie is that she actually doesn't require any Ardell Roses whatsoever. It's a very interesting and rather unique difference between the 2 characters, aside from the fact that they also have some virtually distinct movesets and movement kits on the whole, so there's a lot of variety that can be had with the game in terms of just playing the overall levels, the overall story, trying to beat things as fast as possible. It's just really great to see how far we've come in terms of more and more content as this game simply evolved.
Yeah, it's an incredibly fun game. There's always a ton of stuff to do in it. Highly recommend giving it a chance. We even have a demo for the game, which you can speedrun. There are speedrun options for it.
Unfortunately, that's what I would be saying, but the demo actually has been removed for a while now.
Oh, has it? Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. So, that was more of a decision on Colorgrave. They did have it still available for their Steam page for the longest while, and yes, as Ioto said, it was something that was used to, well, build the foundation behind the very speedrun itself. It's what allowed us to sort of get our bearings down for the overall game, as well as the first world especially. But it was within a particular decision with Colorgrave that they decided that it was time to move on from that, and If you would like to ask any of the members if you ever have the chance, I'm sure they'll be happy to enlighten you. It's very understandable, though, having asked myself. I assure you, it's no harm, no foul.
You got the roses.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. I was so busy talking.
Yeah, it's once you get into the groove of it, you just kind of keep going.
Exactly. That's the funny thing about this any percent route when you think about it. Actually, we should talk about what any percent started as, because there's a category, or a couple of any percent categories to the whole shebang. One is called No Cactus, and the other is called Cannonless. No Cactus was the original variation of what we call any percent, and the cactus room at the time was not allowed. And then eventually we decided, okay, maybe we could start using it now that it's been a while, and one of our top runners, Druid Vorse, knew exactly what to do once that time came, so this is the modern any percent in a nutshell.
See if you're good again.
That's true.
Just keep doing this. You keep doing it, man. Gotta keep an eye on your roses.
I have the notes right in front of me, I swear. Okay, maybe I should start including the rose numbers in my splits, kind of like what my pal Gordon Ramsay does for, or actually Stryzer for a gravity circuit. Maybe that would help me a little bit better than these notepad notes.
I mean, whatever works, right?
Whatever works, sure.
Yeah,
No,
there's a lot of stuff you can do with the game, though. We have a lot of categories. So we've got the any percent run, which you're currently watching, which has 4 variations, 2 for Bonnie, 2 for Belle, and those involve the not using their special go fast moves and using their special go fast moves. So in this case, for example, we're not using the Spark Bangle, which is the go fast move. We also have 100% run, which is currently being routed because that was a very lengthy run. So we're still working on that. We also have, like Steve said, we got the Cannonless and no cactus rooms. Cannonless is something that we'll touch on perhaps later on, but you can see it in other runs that we do. Or rather, Cannonless is effectively a full run of the game, all levels, and then no cactus is none of that cheat room stuff, but you go through as few of the levels as possible using what we call skip cannons, which are various skip cannons that just launch you into a new zone and unlock a bunch of levels. They're very convenient.
Whoops. Okay, there we go. Sheesh.
Nice
Come on.
Oop. Nice
No,
recovery.
well, it was a good recovery at the time, yes. So one of the fundamental gameplay elements of Curse Crackers is that while we have Belle doing all of her nice little flips, jumps, and all that jazz, kind of like Mario from Mario 64, although in a 2D plane, of course, Chime here is a very special companion that not only acts as a mode of attack, but also of extra height as well. And some of the most optimal level strats involve using Chime's bouncing to really make things go flying. I actually kind of I didn't forget because I didn't do that level, but if you watch Ayoto's hotfix run, you'll see him do a nice little thing in Circus Stage 1, which makes use of Chime's ability to rebound Belle just a little bit higher to then propel her through a jump-through platform. There's really quite a bit that you can do with the overall gameplay mechanics, and yet you can also really just learn it at your own pace, however you so choose, because there's really no sort of, I guess you could say there's no hard ceiling when starting things out. This game encourages you to take whatever approach you feel is right for you, and then improve bit by bit.
Yeah, you can totally go through this game without using the sprint button, which is a serious problem the developers have been trying to deal with for quite some time.
But yeah. And the whole mention of the Spark Bangle, too, that was actually something we also didn't have from the get-go, because that was actually a little reward for a community speedrun event, if you can believe it. That was something that we called the Chime Circuit, where for maybe up until half a month, I guess it was up until a certain date that if speedrunners had submitted an any percent run to leaderboard, and we had enough of those submissions, Colorgrave would add a little special occasion or two to commemorate the success of the community event. And the Spark Bangle ends up not only providing a double jump for Belle, but you've also noticed me being able to slide and then do a long jump. She can do that with the Spark Bangle in mid-air. Just imagine being able... And it's crazy.
You think the movement here is crazy? You should see the speed bangle or spark bangle runs.
Well,
Anyway,
we might
we're
as well
first...
call it the speed bangle.
Yeah, right. So we're hitting Beakton here, who is our first boss that we're going to be dealing with. He's invulnerable during this initial phase, and he's dead.
For some interesting reason, the normal way of beating him is by hitting him into the spikes 3 times, but the loophole here is that the game considers him dead within that corner because I guess it's supposed to treat him as if he's falling down after the 3rd hit. Oh, by the way, here's Bonnie. She's that bunny girl I was talking about. She can throw a scythe, she can create spike orbs, and yeah. We just try to finish the fight as super fast like that, and yeah, that was very clean, as Iota just said.
So Bonnie's been kidnapped. We need to go rescue her from a place that these 2 other characters have stolen her away from, and we're on the moon. So here's the fun story here. You can see that there's levels 1 and level 2. Under normal circumstances, we would go through both levels in order, because, you know, sequence. However, because we've unlocked all the levels, we can skip level 1. Ah, nice, you did the zip.
Yeah, I love that. I love showcasing that. I'll talk a bit on that after Ioto catches you up on the current happenings.
Yeah, so because we're able to skip level 1, we can go right to level 2, and it turns out we don't... Because what happens is at the end of this level, we'll get an item that's sort of a story thing, but it turns out we don't actually need both of them. We only needed to get the one from this level to count for completing the game, or completing both levels, so we're just going to move right on to it. As for that zip, that is a extremely unique situation.
Normally, Belle's supposed to insta-die if she gets crushed, but apparently the way the nudge command works within the Unity engine, which, yes, this game was built in Unity, if you could believe it. Yeah, apparently that's like a very singular instance of the collision not necessarily crushing her, at least so the game thinks, and yeah. Oh, well, by the way, that was Lear. She's the beefiest normal boss of the game, taking up to 20 hits to defeat, but as long as I manage to use Chime very effectively like I did there, then yeah, that's all there really is. That's all it takes to defeat her. And then I gotta talk to this giant woman named Blind Gaze. She's a scale. If you want to learn a little bit.
And now there's an asteroid coming.
Yes, there's the asteroid coming. So, the sassy Cyclops child and Lear the Harpy, they now fused into this one being named Liadra, and that's actually going to be our final boss. We are already at the end of the game. And now, I'm going to say this, we have 3 phases of a fight. After the 3rd phase, and after she is defeated, time will be on the first frame that the text box appears. But, what is the specialty of this fight? Ioto, please explain.
Alright, so you'll notice that Steve was taking a hit there intentionally, and then afterwards, Liadra was starting to show off some little green orbs. Those orbs heal you, but when you take damage, you actually deal more hits simultaneously. So taking a single or 2 hits of damage allows you to spam damage much more quickly. Otherwise, the scythe only hits once on the way out and the way in. So what we need to do during this fight is actually very carefully maintain our health level to be at 1 or 2 at all times in order to get maximum damage output. You may think it's actually very difficult to die against this fight when you can just constantly heal by picking up these orbs that the boss drops, but you'd be surprised. And time is coming up.
Time. Whoa. Let's go. Good stuff.
Nice job.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was a good run. That was a pretty good run. I think it was actually pretty close to sticking a PB for this category. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 seconds off from my fastest run, according to what I remember, but yeah, that was a pretty solid run.
What is your fastest time?
I think it was 14... Yeah, I think it was 14:14 or 14:24, something along those lines. I'm
looking at the board now, and you're at 14:02 as your fastest time.
Okay. So then I guess I did submit the. Wait, is it Spark Bangle though?
Um,
Maybe I forgot to
I can
submit. I do forgot to submit some of my runs, but yeah, no. Like I said, this was still very close to PB pace. Aside from maybe a few mistakes I made, then hey, no problem with that. It just means great run, great showing of this game, and well, thank you all for tuning into that. And if you would like to pick up this game yourself, allow me to remind you that it is available on Steam as well as the Nintendo Switch eShop, and only for $14.99. It is very accessible. It is very, very friendly to new gamers, but also just so fun to play. And a big shout out to the Colorgrave community for just being wonderful. If you would like to learn the speedrun yourself, the Colorgrave Discord link can be found on our speedrun leaderboard, as well as that of their previous game, Prodigal. Ioto, if you'd like these folks to find you elsewhere, where can they?
Oh, I'm just at Ioto Corp everywhere on everything, basically. Twitch, Twitter, what have you. So pretty easy to find. I have good old unified branding.
Absolutely. And then, if you'd like to follow me, my Twitch is TempestMask1000, as well as a YouTube channel of the same name. And I also got a Twitter at It'sTempestSteve, where I don't frequently stream, so I do try to post any potential plans to do so there. Of course, following is completely optional. If you just want to say hello, your company is more than appreciated. I'm not quite done yet, though. This was a really fun game to showcase, don't get me wrong. But we also got a nice little classic that well fits within Fleet Fest 5's theming. And if you want to see some classic Genesis treasure action, well, stay tuned, my friends, because I'll be back with Gunstar Heroes very soon. But once again, just a special shout out to Colorgrave for this game. It's truly become one of my favorite speed ventures, and I can only imagine I'll be continuing to play the heck out of it for a long, long while, and I look forward to the future of Colorgrave's games, as well as those which may continue from this one as well. So, Ioto, thank you for joining me as always. You did a wonderful job.
Pleasure.
Heck yeah. And, yeah, see you all soon. Ciao.
Okay, thank you so much.